All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Spike Kool-Aid for Thursday, November 10th, 2022. If you're wondering why it takes me so long to get started, it's simply because I'm waiting on everything to connect and I'm waiting to see the notification that I am live before I start talking. But how is everyone doing this afternoon? Man, oh man, feels good to win, right? Feels fantastic to win. And I like it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on tomorrow. I thought I could be on Friday to try to make up for the show I missed Monday, but we shall see. So I hope everybody is doing well. And when you watch this on playback, if you watch it on playback, leave your thoughts on our conversation in the comment section below. What's up, Patty? What is going on? David, good afternoon, fellas. Glad to have you in as always. The Detroit Lions are going on the road to face the Chicago Bears, and we've got to talk about some things. The Detroit Lions at 2-6 are not out of the playoffs, but they have to win games, all right? And I saw the weirdest thing. All of a sudden, not only are playoffs being talked about, but anti-tanking is being talked about. And we're going to keep having that conversation. That's going to keep coming up. And like I said, I always want my team to win. Aaron Glenn gets in front of the media today, talks about the win, but more importantly, talks about how to contain Justin Fields or how they are going to try to win this game. And I love it. I love hearing that from the coaching staff because that's why we play. That's what we want as Lions fans. We play to win the game. Shout out to Herm Edwards. What's up, Jake? Says first road win. What's up, Billy? What's going on, y'all? Hope y'all Thursday is fantastic. Mine is doing pretty well. It is 71 degrees in the state of Michigan. I told y'all this last week. Michigan has 2 seasons. I kid you not. We don't have a spring and we don't have a fall. We have a summer and we have a winter. It's either hot or it's either cold. Now, granted, we get cool temperatures, but they're not a lot. They're not a lot. Everybody, what are you talking about? Of course we get 4 seasons. No, we don't. We get 4 seasons, but we really do not get 4 seasons. So if you live in Michigan, you know what I'm talking about. 71 degrees today. Today is the final day that I've seen that it will be in the 70s. Now, mind you, it is November the 10th. We are almost 2 months into fall, and we've had a bunch of 70-degree days, today being the last. It will be a drop of 40 degrees within one day. I'm sorry, 30 degrees from 71 to 31. So gotta love it. Got to love Michigan. What's going on, Cooper? What's going on, Rock a Frog? Did you see St. Brown's and his brother trash talk the upcoming game? I did not see that. What's up? What's up, D. Reese? What's going on, man? My day is going well. I hope you guys is going well as well. All right, so we're going to bring in a new segment today so I can put this on NFL Syndicate. I've been neglecting that channel, and my thing is making my content work for me. So the channel is doing very well, y'all. We're about to hit 300 subscribers. Tomorrow is our month anniversary, and we've got over 1,500 hours of watch time, thanks to you guys. The videos have been taking off, and I really appreciate y'all, man. I really do. So thank you guys so much, and couldn't do it without you. I really couldn't. But the Detroit Lions, man, in 3 days' time, we'll be going to Soldier Field to try to beat the Chicago Bears, something they haven't done in quite a while. And something they haven't done, as a matter of fact, the last time we beat the Bears was our last road win. But we're going to get into that a little later. There's something I wanted to talk about first. For every one of the Lions fans, I'm not talking about the guys in the chat. Now, if you do feel this way, let me know. All right? Every one of the Lions fans that want to sell the team, right? I think SOL fans and sell the team fans are one and the same but different at the same time, right? All we hear is we're not going to win until we sell the Fords. And for a while, I believed that. I really did. Until Sheila came along and she's trying her best, right? We don't see the good that Sheila's doing. We want to sell the team. Now, if anybody changed their way of thinking, it was me. In 2019, I was like anti-Lions. And I was anti-Lions because I was sick to death of Matt Patricia. I was still hurt by the firing of Jim Caldwell, and I was anti-Lions, right? And I wanted them to sell this team. But we talk about selling the team, okay? Selling the team. The Fords need to sell the team. Let me tell you something. Our team is valued. You ready for this? We are the second to last, currently, second to last lowest priced team in the league. Now, for a while, we were the last. You would never believe who the lowest value team in the National Football League is. Can anybody in the chat tell me? And if you watch this in video form, let me know without cheating at this moment, who is the lowest value team in the National Football League? And this goes to my sell the team people. My sell the team people. Patty says the LA Chargers. Well, Patty says, I like you. You're one of the Lion tubers that's objective. Well, Patty, it's not that, man. It's not that I'm objective. I believe what I'm telling you. I believe what I'm telling you. If I didn't believe this, I wouldn't tell you it. You know what I mean? So it could be that I'm objective, but I'm telling you this because I believe it, right? And I believe that this team, what the facts are. What the facts are when we talked about playoffs and all that stuff. All right, so I get Jags, I get Texans, I get Panthers. I told you wouldn't guess. The lowest, Rocket Frog comes in at the last minute. Seems like he cheated. But the Cincinnati Bengals are the lowest value team, the team that just went to the Super Bowl, at $2.84 billion. You know how many billionaires are in the world, right? Now, the Detroit Lions are valued at $2.86 billion. And what makes it worse is they've moved. Have they moved? There's a 17% difference from, I believe, last year. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 30, the Buffalo Bills are 29, and the Arizona Cardinals round out the bottom 5 at 28. The top 5, the Dallas Cowboys are valued at $7.6 billion, the LA Rams 5.9, New England Patriots 5.8, the New York Giants number 4 at 5.7, and the San Francisco 49ers at 5.8. I'm sorry, 5.1. The Chicago Bears are valued at $5 billion. The Washington Commanders could go as high, I read, as like double digits, or as high as $7 billion, somewhere around there. Right now, the highest selling team of all time is the recently acquired Denver Broncos. But why did I bring this up? Who is going to come in and buy the Detroit Lions at $2.8 billion? And that's on the low end of the spectrum. Who's going to come in? Most likely no one. Most likely no one. In addition to that, when they come in, and we had this conversation last week, when they come in, if they come in, they scoop up your Detroit Lions and they take them away. What are you going to do? How are they going to feel? Don't forget, the Detroit Lions were the Portsmouth Spartans back in 1930. This team has been the Detroit Lions since 1934. We're talking about 88 years of history. Although a lot of it since the Super Bowl era is losing. But do you really want this team to sell? And if you do, who's going to buy this team? Who's going to buy this team? Patty says, what did you say, Patty? You said, where are the Browns? The Browns are valued. They're right above the Arizona Cardinals, number 27, $3.8 billion. $3.8 billion. So for everybody screaming that the Fords sell the team, one, it's not as easy as you think. Not as easy as you think. And Patty says somebody will buy it and move it. So we need to stop with this sell the team stuff. You're either going to support the Detroit Lions with the current ownership or you're not. Very simple. Very simple. And that's what I believe is a lot of our problem, man. We wishy-washy. And it's okay to be wishy-washy on some things. Oh, I'm not going to do a record prediction. Oh, I did a record prediction. Oh, I'm not going to pick the Lions to win. Oh, I picked the Lions to win, right? But as far as selling the team, $2.8 billion is what our miserable franchise is. And we are not going to, this team is not going anywhere. So either get on the train or get off at the next stop. Whatever other saying you can put with this, put with it. The Detroit Lions are not going anywhere anytime soon. NFL Kid says, where are the Panthers? The Panthers are number 22, valued at $3.3 billion. Middle of the pack teams, Kansas City Chiefs, $3.5 billion. Los Angeles Chargers, Baltimore Ravens, number 21. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2 years removed from a Super Bowl, are $3.2 billion. There is a B in every single one of these teams' names. So we can forget all about that. They're not going anywhere. What is the team from St. Louis worth? Possum Boy, they don't have a team. They don't have a team. Injury update on Charles Harris. As far as I know, none. Rocker Frog, as far as I know, none. Cooper says J-Mo is out until December. Yes. Yep. They're talking about 2 to 3 games, man. And I think that's terrible. I think that's terrible. If he can play and it's clear to play, let the man play. Let the man play. We need as much help as we can get. And that's going to take us into the next segment. Okay? We are hurting right now. The Detroit Lions are in a world of hurt. Okay? And we are almost back to last year as far as when it comes to receivers. Josh Reynolds didn't practice. DJ Chark. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me save this for the segment so I'll be able to record this stuff. But we are hurting that receiver, y'all. We're hurting that receiver. And I think that's why this happened yesterday. We talked about signing the fact that the Detroit Lions picked up Trinity Benson. And I think that's why. I think that's why. So let me see. We are down quite a bit receivers. Okay. So the Detroit Lions currently are very thin at wide receiver. Now, there's some good news and some bad news, but is it really good news? Because we don't know what this guy can do. He was a stud during the preseason. He was a no-show during the season, and then he went on injured reserve for the last 4 weeks. But Josh Reynolds missed his 4th straight practice today. He had a back injury that popped up last week. Now, we did see him against the Miami Dolphins, where he was already limited due to, I want to say, either back issues or ankle issues. We currently do not have DJ Chark. He's on IR. Jamison Williams, he has not been cleared to practice. Quintez Cephas is on injured reserve as well. Okay? Now check this out. DJ Chark is eligible to return. This comes from MLive. From injured reserve next week, although it remains unclear whether he'll do so. Now, I had to make sure I was reading this right because this doesn't seem right. He spent last year, okay, in Jacksonville, and I want to say he played 4 games. Don't quote me on that. But I want to say he played 4 games. It says he's missed 19 of his last 22 games because of ankle injuries. All right? 19 of the last 22 games because of ankle injuries. It's more like 1 ankle injury. He had to have his ankle surgically repaired. Right? And we went out and got this guy. Now, if you remember how DJ Chark's contract is, and listen, I know y'all might not like this, but I'm under the notion that we might keep DJ Chark. I mean, it could go either way. But why I say that is, We owe him money anyway. Remember, his salary to help the cap situation, he got $10 million fully guaranteed. DJ Chark did. 1 point something of it was paid this year, and a third of his signing bonus was paid this year. There's a third next year, and there's a third the year after that. So basically what they did is they broke up the $10 million over a 3-year signing bonus, including this year, and a salary, including this year, right? So his salary and his signing bonus is year 1. Whether he's on the Detroit Lions or not, year 2 and year 3, he gets a third of his fully guaranteed $10 million. And he's missed 19 of the last 22 games because of an ankle injury. Our receiving core right now is very, very thin. And Nick says, don't worry, we got Trinity Benson. You almost made me laugh, man. Trinity Benson, in all likelihood, will play this Sunday because we have Tom Kennedy, Maurice Alexander, Khalif Raymond. We went from so much of an upgrade from last year to just as bad. Rocket Frog says, I was so excited about DJ Chark, but now I don't know. I was never excited, bro. For me, it was the preseason hype. But if you're signing somebody coming off an injury that already had an injury history, like there's a difference between DJ Chark and Jameson Williams. Possum Boy says Trinity Benson is about to be Kurt Warner. Now listen, I thought about that yesterday. Because we are desperate for a receiver right now. And I thought about it yesterday. I said, there's never been a better time for Trinity Benson to ball out because he's going to have to play. Billy says, I think Benson can help us. Mark my words. Billy, I agree. I agree 100%. And I think that's why they went to go get him. I don't think he was blowing our socks off, but I think now he's going to have a prime opportunity to make a name for himself. Remember, listen, when Trinity Benson was traded for, do you know you could find no film on him? You barely found him in a Denver Bronco uniform. But we had to go off what we heard from Denver Bronco fans and from the Denver Bronco media. So, DJ Chark can come back from injured reserve, I want to say next week. Now, mind you, you're going to have to throw in another 2 or 3 games. Now, here's my thought. We could get possibly DJ Chark for whatever it's worth. DJ Chark might stay benched if Trinity Benson balls out. But we could get the 2 people that were supposed to blow the top off the defense back at the same time. And I almost guarantee you that Jameson Williams will outperform DJ Chark. 100%. So, DJ Chark can come off IR next week, 2 or 3 weeks, puts him probably after the Thanksgiving game. And I don't know if he finishes the season, but let me know what you think about DJ Chark. Rocket Rock says, Swift injury update. So Swift he's kind of, right now the ankle's fine. It's just the shoulder that's bothering him continuously. But he's going to be out there like he was last week. Not a ton. I think each week he's going to get more and more reps as far as playing time. Pretty much that's exactly what they've been doing with Swift. Yep. I like the move. At the very least, he knows the playbook. Yes, he does, Possum. He knows this is the time to become an NFL wide receiver. Well, I think that we talked about yesterday in the show, one of the reasons that Trinity Benson is here is rapport with Jared Goff. Even though Jared Goff may or may not have invited him to throw and catch with him. And the fact that, like you said, Possum, he knows the playbook. I think you couldn't really do anything else, right? You couldn't pick up somebody. You could have potentially went and got Devin Funchess. You could have done that. But obviously, they believed more in Trinity Benson than they did in Devin Funchess, which I don't know what that says about Devin Funchess. I thought he did pretty good when it came to his time with the Detroit Lions. But we're going to see. It's all right. We can blame Goff because he don't have anybody to throw to like Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, hey, Patty, we're going to blame him anyway. We're going to blame him anyway, bro, because he is not going to get any love. I'm telling you right now. Now, we listen. Y'all know me. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am when it comes to this team. And you know what I want to see? I want to see us win. David says, hey, Greer, what's your thoughts on what Sue said about Aiden Hutchinson? I think that was huge. I think that was giant, Dave, tremendously. And I think, again, now, listen, I have my thoughts about Ndamukong Suh. I do believe he was super dirty. Not all the time, but he was indeed dirty. Like, you can't, for everybody that wants to call Goff trash, those same people that, like, for instance, Goff is a turnover machine and Suh is dirty. Those things are facts. Okay, so he actually, this is what Ndamukong Suh had to say. I'm going to sum it up. He said, I hope the organization and ownership build around him. But he had the emoji eyes. You know the emoji eyes? See, the eyes speak volumes. The emoji eyes, to me, is what make it different. That's what takes it to another level. Ndamukong Suh said, I hope the organization and ownership builds around him. Don't forget, Ndamukong Suh was the second overall pick in 2010. Don't forget that Ndamukong Suh was an anchor when it came to this Detroit Lions defense. And as nasty as he was a dog. He was a dog. And I think we tried to build around him. We had Farley. We had Rodgers, I believe. We had some guys, but they couldn't ever, take it. We couldn't get there. Nick says, Suh is exactly what Detroit needed. Who's your guy? Okay, that's funny. As much as I love Suh, he kind of puts us out of games and ruined game drives thanks to penalty, but he was a bad 100%. 100%, bro. That's pretty much what I was just saying. He would do something really awesome and then throw it away by kicking somebody, stomping somebody. You know what I'm saying? Body slamming somebody. And the funniest thing is when you talk to Suh, if you talk to him or listen to him talk, you're like, is this the same dude that we see on the field? Is this the same guy that we see on the field? Because this guy is nasty. He is nasty, bro. But listen, the Detroit Lions have an opportunity to win this Sunday. And I'm kind of concerned a little bit. I'm concerned, and I'm concerned about Chase Claypool. I'm concerned about the two running backs, and I'm concerned about Justin Fields. I'm more concerned about Justin Fields than I am about Chase Claypool or anybody else. We know the Lions have a tough time stopping the run, but they have a very tough time stopping mobile quarterbacks. This guy is coming off his biggest running game of his career, and then now he's up against us, and he's at home. Okay, now, sorry, had to sneeze there. Might have another few coming. When I sneeze in bunches, man. It's weird. All right. Now, we talked about it earlier today in the show. We talked about the significance of this game coming up. And I might do this just in case I can't get on tomorrow. Usually, Fridays is a super busy day. But tomorrow may be a little more relaxed. I'm not sure yet. But let me ask you guys a question. What is your biggest concern when it comes to this week's game? This week's game. And we might have to talk about something else too. Like I said, my biggest concern is Justin Fields. That's my biggest concern because we've seen what this guy can do. And he's in his second year. He's starting to kind of get a little swag. And he's taking control of that offense. And I think Justin going to be all right. You got a game where they absolutely dominate the New England Patriots, but then they get, then they'll get stomped and then they'll battle the Miami Dolphins, and they don't have much of an offense. So the NFL is weird. NFL is weird. Everybody says Justin Fields. What's up, Nate? Says no containment. What I don't understand, we stopped Lamar Jackson last year, and now we can't stop a mobile QB. Dave, that's actually a phenomenal point, bro. And we have most of the same roster. We've improved in a lot of regards when it comes to the Detroit Lions defensive roster and that defensive line. But, yeah, you're right. You are right, man. Why can't we stop the run or contain a quarterback, and we were able to contain Lamar? I think containing Lamar, man, was ridiculous. Like, I feel like a lot of things went in our favor. We were at home, and, yeah, I don't really know. I can't really explain why we were able to do that. Why we were able to do that. Now, like I said, y'all know me, and y'all know that I want to win. Losing is not what I do. It's not what I do. It's not what I like to do. It's not what I want to do. I want to win games 100%. Right? Because winning is what it's about. It's not about draft picks. It's not about losing. It's not about tanking. It's not about, like I said, Detroit Lions fans, in my opinion, and I'm sorry if you get offended, but, it is what it is. If you're going to lose, then you're a loser. If you want to lose, then you're a loser. That's it. If you want to lose, you are a loser. Now, what if the NFL did what the NBA does with the draft lottery? And the NBA literally has tanking in it. And they have a lottery system, and they still tank, right? What would you do? How would you feel if losing didn't guarantee you the number one pick? That would be tough, right? Would you still want your team to quote-unquote tank then? If that was the case? I don't think so, right? I don't think you would. The Detroit Lions need to do something. We're going to talk about it very briefly as soon as I set this up here. All right. Let's get this going. The Detroit Lions go and face the Chicago Bears in Soldier Field against Justin Fields, the 10th, I think it was the 10th or 11th overall pick, right? 2021. I think it was 11. Bears traded up like they did with Mitchell Trubisky, and they took their quarterback. Had a rough year, but you know what he did do? Beat us. Beat us twice. One at the crib and one on the road. All right? This game is super important, and we're going to do this just in case I can't get on tomorrow. This game is unbelievably important for the Detroit Lions. Now I'm not talking playoffs. I'm not going there. Okay? I'm talking about for a lot of things. Morale, a win streak. Okay? A win streak of a whopping 2 games. See, Detroit Lions fans are cool with 5-game losing streaks, 12-game losing streaks, and that's why the audacity of tanking to me is idiotic. Idiotic. We have gone on multiple losing streaks. Do you understand that we lost for 24 years in Green Bay? That was broken several years ago. See, y'all might not remember that, but I do. The graphic coming across the screen, 24 years the Detroit Lions went without a win in Lambeau Field. Nate says road win, need a road win. Possum says road win for Campbell, absolutely. But let me tell you why it's even more important than that. The last time the Detroit Lions won on the road was in Chicago almost 2 years ago. Now, let me paint this picture for you. The Detroit Lions beat the Chicago Bears in Soldier Field in Darrell Bevell's first interim game, his only game that he won. All right? Stay with me. This is the last time the Detroit Lions won on the road, was the week coming off Matt Patricia's firing. We have not won on the road since. But here's what's even crazier than that. Not only was that our last road win, for everyone that remembers, it was our last win until 364 days later. And when did we break it? We broke it almost a year to the date against the Minnesota Vikings in week 13. This game is huge for the Detroit Lions. Nick says first road win streak, division win. Check, check, and check. Well, let's not forget that the Detroit Lions are 1-1 in the division.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Absolutely. And we can win a game. But this really bugs me. It really does. Like, who does this? Who puts this together? Who puts this together? The Detroit Lions, according to the ESPN matchup predictor, 41% chance to win the game. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Let's see, did they give us a receiving leader this week? Because last week, when I forgot to bring this graphic in, we didn't have one. Jared Goff, 173 for 275, 2,041 yards. Man, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Justin Fields, not too shabby. Look at that. He's thrown the football 100 times almost less than Jared Goff. 110 out of 187, 1,322 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. He throws picks. Jamal Williams, we see what he does. 126 carries, 545, 8 touchdowns. Justin Fields is their leading rusher. And they got some pretty good backs on their team. Justin Fields is their leading rusher. This, to me, is a problem. Now, you might say, Grid, it's a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver leader. It is. But he is not the deep guy. He's not. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not a number one wide receiver, except he is on our team. Now, don't get it twisted. I love the dude. I love the guy. He is always there when you need him. But on any other team, St. Brown probably wouldn't be the number one. He probably wouldn't. But they use him a lot like Deebo Samuel, and he puts up a bunch of yards. Josh Reynolds will probably not play. That's why we went and got Trinity Benson. Malcolm Rodriguez, he's day-to-day. If he plays, he's going to have a brace on that right arm, and he might be a little limited. Real talk. He need both his arms to tackle. Kirby Joseph, questionable. Thank you, Jeff Okuda. All right, Frank Ragnow, DeAndre Swift, he's going to play. Okay? But we have no Roquan Smith to worry about. He was traded. And I feel like Robert Quinn was too, right? Wasn't Robert Quinn traded as well? All right. Points per game. We outscore them. Points allowed. Obviously, they do better than us. Total yards, pretty even. Yards passing. We can beat this team if we stop Justin Fields. They don't pass the ball. You've seen that. You've seen, yeah, that's right, Possum to the Eagles. You've seen that. Yards rushing. This is where we'll get killed, right here. Yards allowed. Pretty stiff defense. Man, passing defense. But the rush yards, we can run on them, right? Now, let me shrink this a little bit so y'all can see. For some reason, it doesn't show up on 200. It's weird. No. They took me to the betting. I don't want to do that. All right. So, here we go. Now, look at this. Look at what I'm saying here. This team, this game is absolutely vital this weekend. Not only Dan Campbell's first road win, the Lions' first winning streak of any sort in years. You understand what I'm telling you? It's been years since we've had a win streak. Years. It's been years since we won on the road. We should have beat Minnesota. We should have beat the Dallas Cowboys. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But we have a chance to do that. A chance to do that. The Chicago Bears are 1-4 in their last 5 at 3-6. The Detroit Lions are 1-4 in their last 5. But coming off being on a 1-game win streak is way better than being on a 2-game losing streak. They got mollywopped this day, and they got cheated out of this game. I'm not going to lie. Claypool was tackled before the ball even got in his vicinity. This was an absolute rob. But we talked about that yesterday. Parity in the National Football League. So now we have, and this is what I'm trying to tell you as to why this game and this season is wide open. At 2-6, it's wide open. This loss was made to create parity. Now, the Detroit Lions can go to 3-6 while they fall to 3-7. And I believe we may move up because we've played less games. We have less losses, but they've played more games. So let me know in the comments below and in the chat currently, how do you feel about this game? It's going to be tough. I'm not going to pick the Lions, but I said last week I believe they win the next 2. I believe that they win the next 2. I can't pick the Lions. I can't pick them. But I tell you what, if they were going to win any game this season, I think this is one that they can win. But they have to contain Justin Fields, or it's going to be a long day for the Detroit Lions. So let me know, will Dan Campbell get his first road win? Will we finally beat the Bears after years? Will we beat Justin Fields for the first time? Will the Detroit Lions move to 3-6? Let me know. I'm telling you, the NFL is full of parity this year. 100% parity. So, yes, right, he went to the Eagles. J-Mo would be number 1. When are we going to need 3 linebackers on the field at all time in a spy? Oh, we are going to. Who is going to keep up, though? Who's going to keep up with Justin Fields? There's nobody that can keep up with him. I don't think Roquan Smith could have kept up with him, but I think he would have been a better option than anything we have. To stay on track, they need to win. Jake says Barnes. Possum says yes. Lions 20-17. Could have beat Miami and Minnesota and Miami if they showed up for the second half. That's true. There's a lot of could have in our season. But you know what I thought today too, and I thought about this as I was prepping for today's show. I did a video on Detroit Lions Syndicate, and this was probably July-ish, August, somewhere around there, right? Man, Hunter Renfrow placed on IR. All right, he got an oblique injury. That means he's on my fantasy team. I'm going to move him to the IR and pick up a receiver. What's up, S-Dub? Says division games are twice as important. It makes my blood boil thinking about that Minnesota game. They gave it away. They had a chance, but defense is going to have to bail them out again. Offense play way better. You're 100% right. And listen, the Lions are 1-1 in the division. The easiest way to the playoffs is the division, right? Now, they're not going to win the division. We know that. We never picked them to win the division. But that goes on to what I was saying, right? Hey, Lions, I almost did. He has been garbage. He has been garbage, man. Hunter Renfrow has been garbage for me. He was balling last year, though. I had him last year. He was killing it. So now I'm going to put him on IR, and then when he comes off, I'll probably drop him then. Or I could drop him now, but I want to make sure I have a receiver first. Lions win. Campbell gets carried off the field. They need to get out the tape of the Baltimore game from last year. They did a great job containing. We just talked about that, SW. We just talked about before you got here. Somebody mentioned the game against Lamar. But remember, I did a video. If you don't know, I did a video on Detroit Lions Syndicate, and it was talking about Peter King. Now, mind you, y'all, this is actually a good topic, right? See, y'all think I'm crazy. Y'all think people are crazy when they want their team to win. What's up, Sir Ken? What's going on, man? But remember that Peter King, who was very high on the Lions this offseason, he compared the Detroit Lions to Rich Strike. Y'all remember that? The horse who had the largest odds, I think, ever to win the Kentucky Derby or whatever it was. Y'all remember that? And Rich Strike, what did he do, though? This actually gives me goosebumps, man. Not because I actually believe it's going to happen. It gives me goosebumps because of the parody. Does anybody remember the Rich Strike? We're talking about Rich Strike. Rich Strike, last year, how Peter King compared the Detroit Lions to Rich Strike. Right now, the Detroit Lions are Rich Strike in the back of the line. They beat the Packers, moved up. They beat the Bears, they move up. No word on whether Josh Allen is playing or not. And I hate the fact that him being injured is actually something to look forward to. I don't wish injury on any man, any person playing football. And I would much rather face the gauntlet to really show what our team is. But if the guy's going to be out, I'll take that too, right? But Rich Strike, we talked about it. This guy had the biggest odds to win that particular race, came from behind, and won. Now, I'm not saying the Lions are going to do exactly that because they have to do what they need to do and they need to win games. But wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? See, y'all think I'm crazy because I talk about what the facts are. The facts are our defense sucks. But the facts are we won a game. We beat the Packers. Yes, we beat the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, we stopped him four times. We beat the Packers. 100%. We can beat the Bears. We can give Dan Campbell his first road win. We could be 3-6. We've gone over this plenty of times. This league, the Super Bowl champion, LA Rams, and we'll talk about them as our last segment of the show. The Super Bowl champion, LA Rams, are 3-5. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 5-4. And the little old Rich Strike Detroit Lions, okay, are 2-6 with a potential to go 3-6. Possum says any momentum going into Thanksgiving could set up a Rich Strike moment. This game is huge. Thank you, Possum. 100%. But there is a game in between these two. The New York Giants. The Detroit Lions. Here's how important these games are. The Detroit Lions play 2 road games. Chicago, they go to MetLife Stadium. Then they come home and they make their final home stand. And I say home stand because we have 3 games left. I think we get one more game at home after this 3-game stretch. We get one more game at home after this 3-game stretch. All right? We play the Buffalo Bills, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we get our rematch against the Minnesota Vikings at home. We then have one more home game against the team that we're going to face this weekend. So the Detroit Lions, at this moment, have 4 home games. They have 3 in a row. Chicago, New York, back-to-back on the road. We come home starting Thanksgiving. We have a 10-day break. Jacksonville, Minnesota. We go on the road twice. We come home, and our last home game is January 1st at Ford Field against the Chicago Bears. Then we go to Green Bay. That game is to be determined, It has not been announced, time or channel, right? The Detroit Lions are primed for a rich strike moment. They really are. They really are. But it started last week. And like Aaron Glenn said today in his press conference, it must continue. We must continue to win. Because unlike some Detroit Lions fans, this team, this coaching staff, is not thinking about losing. I saw last week, I think it might have been because Woodward clips popped in my feed, and it was about Mark Brunell being asked about a quarterback. And he said, play a quarterback? What are we talking about a quarterback for? Quarterback? We're trying to win games. This is why I watch. This is why I can't give up just yet. Possum says, one game at a time, but the Packers win at least gave us a chance. If Lions beat the Bears, the Giants better watch out. Oh, yeah, one game at a time for sure. For sure, but I'll tell you this, Possum, which we will be doing, okay, because that's what I do. This is the start. We started week 10 today, okay? Next week, let me show you something. Like the dude from, well, it's not up yet. Let me show you some like Saturday Night Live. I'm sorry, that was Living Color. All right, I want to show y'all something. This is what I do, okay? Don't call me crazy. This is how I stay. This is how I stay from going crazy. Next week, this opens up. This is for last year. NFL playoff machine. ESPN drops it every year, week 11. You can go through every single scenario and predict the path to your team. This is why I watch. I'm not thinking about the draft here. I'm not thinking about the draft here, here, or here. I'm not thinking about the draft until Brad Holmes gets in front of his press conference. Now, again, this is for last year. But this, ladies and gentlemen, and people who watch this on playback, this is why I watch the game. Because until I see that this team is eliminated, I'm going to hope. I'm going to hope 100%. Because that's what I do. It's not blind hope or ignorant or Kool-Aid hope. This team has to win. This team has to win. But could you have predicted the parity in the NFL? You can't. You could not. I don't know why that thing keeps doing that. So I'm not saying that any of this stuff is going to happen, but I'm simply saying that it's not over yet. The Detroit Lions have 9 games left. And I would hope for the sake of my team and the fan base that this team give it all they got. Because losing sucks, and I hate it. The season isn't statistically over, so yeah, I want to win. It'll be sweet when the Rams pick is higher than the Lions. That would be insane, Possum. You know what, Nick? I did not. Because when I saw that, I think the shows were done. Katie says, this year has been chaos in the NFL. Now, again, I'm not trying to feed you false hope. That's not what I do. I've been doing this for 5 years. And every single year, week 11, I pull off the playoff machine, playoff predictor. And on Detroit Lions Syndicate, every week, it will be how the Detroit Lions can make the playoffs until they can't. That's what I do. It's not, and to me, as long as there's a chance for this team to make the playoffs, I'm going to hope that they do. Because check this out. If the Lions made the playoffs, man, not only would I be right, which would be super cool, but you're talking about the morale going into year 3? Come on, man. Let me ask y'all a serious question. Don't say what you want me to hear, what you think I want to hear. Say what you actually feel. I promise this is a safe space. I won't go ham on you. All right? Say what you really feel. Which would you prefer? Would you prefer the number 1 pick Or would you prefer to get bounced out the playoffs in the first round? That's a good question. Before y'all answer, I'm going to tell you what I want. You already know what I want. You already know what I want. You can bounce us out the first round. Nobody thinks anything of us. It's been 6 years since we sniffed and got bounced out the first round. Our old quarterback wins a Super Bowl. Bounce me out, baby, all day long. We are beyond expectations. They had us at 6.5 wins. To get bounced out to make the playoffs would be an honor. 100%. I see you, Willie. Where you been, bro? Patty says we got some time. We got to start winning some time. Absolutely. All right, so let's do this because I want to start a segment. I've been meaning to do this for a little while. Okay? And I thought this was very interesting. This will be our last segment of the day, and we may or may not be on tomorrow. So it came out yesterday that former Detroit Lions quarterback, current LA Ram and defending Super Bowl champion quarterback Matthew Stafford has been placed in concussion protocol. Now, I did see that his wife was very upset. We all know Kelly and how she can be very, Jekyll and Hyde-ish. But we all saw that she was upset. She called out the NFL. But my thing is this. So Matthew Stafford suffered the concussion during the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he didn't show symptoms when they initially checked him. He showed symptoms the day after the game. So they did another test, and now he showed symptoms. So now there's a chance that he may not play this coming Sunday against the in-division Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is a huge game for both teams. And for those of you watching on NFL Syndicate, I am a Detroit Lions fan. My old quarterback won a Super Bowl. But this is a huge game for not only these teams, but everybody underneath them, including my Detroit Lions. If you are a Lions fan, for the people in this chat, this is a win-win situation for us. The Arizona Cardinals are 4-5, right? They could be 3-5. I think they're 4-5. What are the Arizona Cardinals? Both of these teams have a losing record, I do believe. It is possible that the LA Rams, could drop to 3-6. So we're in a win-win situation being a Lions fan, but we got to do what we got to do and take care of business. But Matthew Stafford has been placed in concussion protocol, and there's a chance that he will not play this coming Sunday. And they will have to go with backup John Wolford. Now, John Wolford is not that bad. He's not horrible. He came in and played when Jared Goff broke his thumb in 2020. He did okay. He didn't do half bad. Half bad at all. Dave says they took out St. Brown and he didn't show anything. But here's the weird thing about this. So St. Brown didn't show anything, but Matthew Stafford did. Matthew Stafford did. He said, this comes from NFL.com, Rams head coach Sean McVay announced yesterday that the team understood that Matthew Stafford sustained, that it was an understanding Stafford sustained the concussion against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But he didn't exhibit symptoms of a concussion until the team's standard checks with Stafford in the days after the game. Now, what I believe Kelly is upset about is that how could you miss this? How could you miss the fact that not only did he have a concussion, but you didn't catch it for days? He obviously showed the symptoms because he's in concussion protocol. Now, he may or may not play on Sunday. In my honest belief, there's no way, based off Tua and based off the new changes in the NFL that went into effect weeks after what happened to Tua, that Matthew Stafford plays this Sunday. There's no way. In addition to that, the ruckus, understandably, that his wife had. There's no way. This would be a bad look for the National Football League. However, we know what it's really about. We know what the bottom line for this league is. This is a big game for both of these teams. A huge game for both the Arizona Cardinals and the LA Rams. Because it's a lot of games left to play after this game. The Cardinals are 3-6. The Rams are 3-5. Either the Cardinals will be 4-6 or they'll be 3-7. The Rams will either be 4-5 or they'll be 3-6. Either way, it helps our Detroit Lions. That's facts. That's facts. But this is a huge game. And I think the NFL has to do the right thing here, and they need to keep him out. And this has nothing to do with him being my old quarterback or whatever. Y'all know how I feel about the Rams. This is about safety. And I think that the NFL needs to do the right thing and keep Matthew Stafford out this game. John Wolford has shown that he can win games. He did it when Jared Goff went down. He actually was in for Jared. When Jared Goff broke his thumb, he came in and won them a game. He also got smashed, too. He then went out, and then after that, I forgot who came in. I think Goff came back in. But Matthew Stafford, the NFL, the LA Rams have to do the right thing and keep Stafford out this game. Let me see what y'all saying. I wish Matthew Stafford the best. He gave it all he had here for 12 years. I hope he has a healthy and speedy recovery. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. To know that he even had one, I couldn't imagine. I think I had one once in my life. I was playing football, ironically. No helmet. We were playing tackle. What idiot, right? We were dummies, man. Who plays tackle with no protection? Kids, man. You have to save them from themselves because we are definitely dumb. Yes, KD says Goff went back in. I remember that for sure. I'm still mad about the Detroit Rams thing. Willie says Stafford a bum. Keep Stafford out. Don't need another Tua situation. And KD, that's why I think he's coming out. I think that he's coming out because of Tua. That Tua might have, what happened with him was a big deal. And I think now if you are in concussion protocol, and I think, honestly, with the timing, midweek, right? How is he going to be cleared? You put him in concussion protocol Wednesday, and he can play Sunday? You can't even do that, man. That's not a good look for the National Football League. Those are my thoughts. 100%. I don't know why this thing does that. Pops up twice. But yeah, man, listen. This is a big deal, man. I'm excited about this team. And I'm excited because we have 9 games left. I'm excited because the season is not over. I'm tired of talking about the draft in week 4. I'm tired of our season being over before we enter November. And this season is trending down that path. But you know what we finally did? We won a game. And it was huge. And this game is just as big, if not bigger. In division, road win. Okay? Something Dan Campbell hasn't done, something the Lions haven't done since they fired their last coach. This is a huge game for the Detroit Lions. And whether you're talking about playoffs, winning streak, whatever, this is big, man. Winning feels good. Winning streaks are great, but we're not used to them. I don't even know when the last time the Lions won 2 back-to-back games. Let's find that out real quick. Anybody know off the top of their head in the chat? When did Detroit Lions when did they last win 2 back-to-back games? It's been a long time. It's been over 2 years. Because that was something Matt Patricia did. I don't think Matt Patricia ever did. I don't think he ever did, bro. That was one of the biggest things. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go to the trusted. Because this is going to be something else. Lion says Jim Caldwell says Detroit, maybe 2017. All right, let's see. And then we'll wrap up the show. Let me see where we at here. We know we didn't do it we haven't done it this year. We know we didn't do it last year. At the end, it was like hitting. Nate says 07. Nate, you lying, bro. Come on, man. Don't do that to us, man. Don't do that to us, man. Dom says 2018 Patriots Dolphins. Dom, is that confirmed, bro? Patriots, Dolphins, 2018. Okay, where am I at now? Okay, let me see. Hold on, because I just found something here. Okay. All right, so that's all right. That is actually incorrect. That's incorrect. You said 2000. Okay, 2020 is the year. And it was Jacksonville, Atlanta. Jacksonville, Atlanta. Dom, that was pretty good, bro. The last time the Lions won 2 back-to-back games was the COVID year, 2020 season. The year that Matt Patricia was fired, okay? And we won 2 back-to-back games in week 6 and week 7. So crazy dude gets the air horn of the day. The Detroit Lions went 5-11. We started the season with a 2-game skid. That's when everybody was like, that was when DeAndre Swift, remember DeAndre Swift dropped the pass? Hey, have you guys noticed that for the past couple of years, it's been a moment that broke us? It's been a moment that broke us, man. But here's the crazy thing about the 2020 season. How about this? Y'all ready for this? And we'll wrap up the show. Chicago Bears, DeAndre Swift dropped a game-winning pass. Was sick about it. We lose to the Chicago Bears at home. Mitchell Trubisky is a bum, but he beat us. He beat us. Came back, if I'm not mistaken. We then go to Lambeau. We lose by 21-42. We beat the Arizona Cardinals. Now, mind you, people, we were coming off, and this is why I get upset when we talking about tanking. This is why I think Lions fans need to be ashamed of tanking. We don't forget that in 2019, remember the losing streak that we went on? It was week 7 or week 8, whatever it was. Matthew Stafford gets hurt. We lose to the Oakland Raiders in the Coliseum, their last year there. What did we do? We didn't win a single game from that point on the rest of 2019. We go 3-12-1. Do you know how we started the season? Y'all remember that? 2-0-1 after our first 3 games. We went on a 12-game losing streak that was broken when Matt Prater kicked a game-winning field goal in his currently new team, a walk-off field goal that made us 1-2. Now, here's what I think is unique about this season. We lose to the New Orleans Saints at Ford Field. We lost by 6. We beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Atlanta Falcons back-to-back. So it has officially been 2+ years since we got our last back-to-back win. At week 7, we had a week 5 bye. At week 7 in 2020, the Lions were 3-3. Man, we would kill for that right now. We would kill to be 4-4. Like, real talk. In the hunt for sure. We then we lose to the Colts, the Vikings back-to-back. We beat the Washington football team at Ford Field. We got shut out against the Panthers. I remember that like it was yesterday. We lost to the Houston Texans. And that is the game. That was Thanksgiving Day. That's the game that Matt Patricia got fired. And the last road win for the Detroit Lions was a 34-30 win in Chicago. Okay, we were losing 27-30. Romeo Okwara got a strip sack fumble, recovered at like the 19. Stafford threw a dime to somebody. We won the game. Darrell Bevel's one and only win as interim coach. We lose to Green Bay, Tennessee. That was where Alexander Myers got that mean stiff arm. That just wasn't right. 25-46. We get drubbed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we lose to the Minnesota Vikings, Matthew Stafford's last game. Now check this out. I got some news for you. Y'all ready for this? I didn't see Matthew Stafford's last game. When they lost to I didn't do the last 2 or 3 games of the season. And I felt that this was going to be his last game, so I recorded it. It might still be on my DVR. I have not seen Matthew Stafford's last game as a Detroit Lion. I know I could watch it on NFL Game Pass or whatever if I really wanted to. But I didn't get this. I knew he was leaving. Once they lost on Thanksgiving, the whole team crumbled. And they in my opinion, it was over. So there you go. And we'll end the show on that. Katie says Lions fans should get shirts with a burning tank on it and writing that says no tanking, only grit and winning. And on the back of the shirt could say burn the tank. I love that. I love that. But listen to what started, and I'll just wrap I'll wrap the show for sure this time. Remember I talk about tanking, right? I talked about tanking and how pathetic, in my opinion, it is. From the 2019 to 2020 season, we went on Matt Prater snapped a 12-game losing streak that went from last season to this season, to the current season, right? He snapped it. Okay? After that, boom, 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 2020 comes and goes, all right? Now, ending the 2020 season, we were already on a 4-game losing streak. Okay? We were already on a 4-game losing streak. You want to know? Everybody remember how we started the 2021 season? Had 8 consecutive losses. So what is that? 12, right? 12-game losing streak. Now, remember this, fellas? The losing streak was snapped at Heinz Field. Should have been a win. But if Ben Roethlisberger didn't have COVID, we would have lost anyway. Because Jared Goff got hurt that game. So if you're keeping up with me, we are on a 12-game losing streak. We technically snapped the losing streak with a tie. All right? So you know what they start saying? Because a losing streak is different from being winless. You understand what I'm saying? That is a fact. So the Detroit Lions then lose to the Cleveland Browns. Thank you, Tim Boyle. We lost by 3 points. We lost to the Chicago Bears by 2 at home, 16-14. I remember that like it was yesterday. I think we were leading by 1, and we lost by a field goal. That's the other game we lost by a field goal. That's the other walk-off game we lost. We lost 3 walk-off games last year. Minnesota, the Baltimore Ravens, and then we lost the Cleveland Browns, I think was a walk-off, right? So we lost 4 by walk-offs last year. So we had a 12-game losing streak that was snapped by a tie. And then we had 2 games where we were winless for a total of 14 games before we won a game. And y'all want to talk about losing. So if you're with me, what is that? That is 2 streaks of double-digit losses spanning over 3 years. And we are talking about losing. And that's why I can't take it. Crazy Dude says, I don't think the Browns was a walk-off. We just didn't score. Possibly. But I know that the Vikings was. I know that the Ravens was. And I know that we lost 3 walk-offs. We lost 3 walk-off games last year. And then I think we won in a walk-off. So I want y'all to, when you listen to this back on playback, I want you to listen to this a couple times. So if you're with me, that's a total of 25 plus games that we've lost in a row. Okay, you think it was just Bears, Ravens, and Vikings? Well, no, remember we won by a walk-off. That's what happened. So it was 4 walk-off games, but we won 1. That's right. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Crazy. I think you're right. And then the Atlanta Falcons, that was good old Tim Boyle throwing the pick in the red zone. Seattle, we got mollywopped, and then we beat the Packers. So as you guys are contemplating tanking and Bryce Young and all that fantastic stuff, think about the misery of a 12-game losing streak. Think about that. Think about the misery of a losing streak spanning multiple seasons. You think about that as you think about Bryce Young. David, I don't know yet, man. Fridays are super duper busy. They're super duper busy. So if I have time, possibly. But I did the segment with the with the recap or the preview just in case. But listen, you guys have a fantastic day, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Eventually, I'll be on camera, and my goal is to bring in some other creators as well. Might have a Red Wings guy that I'm trying to get to now and stuff like that. So maybe tomorrow, if I do get on, we'll talk about the college playoffs and all that stuff. So you guys are awesome, man. Appreciate y'all, and I will see you next time.